Hello everyone, today I've got to perform some emergency surgery on this sd70 leathered for a BNSF. It's a very nice looking unit. Everything's there, the horn is there, couplers, the box is in great shape, even has this little plastic thing, but there's a problem that I saw right away that got me a little bit worried. And I tried to bring it up closer so you can see. There is way too much lubrication in here on the wheels. You shouldn't be able to get anything from there. So I hope he used the right type of lubrication and also lubricated oil that doesn't damage the gears. So let's get to work on that. I don't know if you can see, even the box is full of lubrication or full of oil. So that makes me worried. I don't know, there might be something wrong with it. Just out of curiosity, let's put it on the track and let's find out. Now this is a Kato engine. They're exceptionally good runners. Let's find out when I give it some power. There's a little bit of contact issue, but nothing major. Probably just dirty. Wow, that sounds good. That's a good sign. So that's a good sign. This is good. It's just an orgy of lubrication. I should never be able to run my screwdriver through the wheels like that and pick up dirt. These should be squeaky clean all the time. There's also a baggie of part that comes with that, number boards and maybe a little bit of extra couplers. So I'll be doing that last before I put it back together. But to me, that's half the fun, putting on these little parts. And all the fun is going through the engine. So the shell removal looks like it's going to be very easy. Everything in there seems to be ship shape, except I guess somebody bent the pickup strips down. Is that possible? Anyways, I'm going to keep taking this apart. Definitely the shell is going to go under the tap with some dish soap. It's got like way too much lubrication in there. I've really got to work on that. Get a lot of this stuff out. Actually, that's disgusting. I mean, I like to lubricate my engines, but look at this. You should never be able to have your fingers be greasy when you touch the engine. So that is bad, actually. I'm gonna clean this up. Fortunately, I'll be able to save the engine, so that's a good thing. Look at that, there's pools of oil everywhere. I've never seen it. I've seen lots of lubrication before, but I've never seen it this bad. Fortunately, taking the engine apart allows you to look at all the extra detail, all this beautiful under frame detail, all the filters here. And there's probably a bell somewhere around there. So that is a lot of fun. You can see all the delicate checker plate on the walkways. Really cool stuff. And all the crisp lettering on the warning labels, like here. Extra brake wheel. There's an extra main generator there. I think if I put them under dual lubrication, I could probably read these. So really cool stuff. So while that is drying, fortunately there was no damage to anything, so that's good luck. While that's drying, I'll take a look at this little guy, the drive system. So it's still very oily, I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm going to remove the gas tank here. And I'm not even sure if the bend on the contact strip is factory or not. I think I'm gonna leave them like that just to see. If it runs good like that, then good is good. Yeah, there's still pools of oil in there. I'm gonna do that to the frame. Actually, I'm gonna take the time to wash it up, but I will not be washing the engine. Whatever you do, never use steel wool to wash your engine. It will draw in very small electrical magnetized steel, and then it gets into the motor and it blocks it up, and then you're buggered. There's nothing you can do. The circuit board, even though it's very greasy, I won't be putting it under the tap either. I'll just wipe it with my rag. That should be good enough. I might do the same with the motor here. So that seems to be the same kind of drive as an SD40, where you remove the top circuit board. It slides into these pins here, and then you take out the 2 screws and you have access to your frame. Do these have an arrow? Yeah, these have an arrow here, so it's impossible to mix them up. I don't know if you can see how the oil actually draws in dust. So that's one reason that I never oil up my trucks. Probably not the only one, but well, it's because I feel they don't need it. But that is why I don't oil them up, because it draws in dirt for no reason. And then I have these 2 little clips holding my engine cradle. So I'll work on that off camera. So obviously there's no need to lubricate this. I'm going to be working on removing the lubrication. Be mindful of your little insulators here. You definitely need those to put the engine back together. And it doesn't seem to be too dirty. So as far as the mechanical parts are concerned, I'm just going to wipe them down. Maybe wipe this down a little bit. And then I'll take the frame, run it with my toothbrush and some soap under the tap to remove the excess oil. The motor, it can take a lot of lubrication. That's okay, it can take it. But I'm just gonna wipe it down very gently. So that is gonna be just a little bit better looking. Now I'm gonna go run my frame under my tap just to remove the excess oil. So that's all the hair that was in that one truck. These wheels are supposed to look really shiny. I'm still gonna clean them with my rag. I can actually see when the engine goes down the track, I can actually see how shiny these wheels are. I really like these engines. They are very good runners. Really worth taking care of it. So I'm gonna do the other 6 off camera. So beautiful. Now I'm gonna put my contact strips for the side. And these, I think, there's a direction to them. This runner is a little bit shorter and this runner is a little bit longer. It's connected with the 3 little gears here. That's your longer side. So I'm gonna put the other one in. Yeah, these I cleaned them too. It's necessary because there was a lot of lubrication there. And as you go, you can try it with your finger just to make sure that you're doing it right. And then the side frames, there's only one direction that it can go. Now it's still a little wet, that is not a problem. They will just drip down. Check it with your finger to be sure that you're happy with it. But this engine, you can see the wheels as it's going down the track. The real engine, it's the same way. Beautiful stuff. Now I'm ready to put everything back together. So I will start by my frame. So everything feels clean now, it's a good feeling. And then the two worm gears. I turned the flywheel a little bit there. That allows me to get in. Now my worm gears, they're still a little oily, which is fine because they need a little lubrication. So I didn't remove all of it. So I just need a little tool to get this little guy in. I should make a video on the philosophy of model railroading. Essentially, they tell you don't go and buy every kind of engine that you find. Settle on a period and a place. And a lot of people, they will model a specific railroad, a specific region, a specific branch line, which is great. It's getting to be more and more, my philosophy is just to have fun. So I do the absolute opposite. I buy every engine that I see from every time period, every railroad, but ultimately that's what I'm interested in. I hate working on buildings, and I love working on engines. So these, I don't know if you can see, there's an arrow here. So they go back with the arrow pointing out. There. First engine I see with the contact strips with a little curve at the end. I think it's going to be okay. I think it came that way from the factory. So I'm not going to change it. I'll see how it runs. It should run good with that. And then at this point I can put my gas tank. The gas tank, it for sure has a direction there. Looks like this little raised area here goes between these two lines there. That should go together like that. Yes. And then I can put my two screws back in. Don't forget those. They don't have to be very tight. And I'm going to put my circuit board. Of course it can't run without the circuit board. When I do this though, it goes into these slits here. While I do that, I make sure to line up the contact strips. Especially this one, you have to hold it down. So hold this one down, line them up properly. If you miss it, you won't run. And then I just put it in. If you want to convert this to DCC, all you got to do is change the circuit board, and then that's it, you're done. I should probably test it, but I have so much confidence that I won't need to. I'm sure it's gonna run. So let's do some work on the shell. Put the handrails back in. SD70 is a little bit more of a modern unit than what I'm used to, but it will still be fun. So just gotta line up everything properly. There's a tab that's bent here. I'm gonna get my pliers and bend it back. Here's the front of the engine here, in case you forget. And then it's an sd70MAC. So in case you forget that too. Very sharp stuff. And I'm gonna bring the top of the shell in. But before I do, I want to remember to put in my ditch lights. This is the piping that brings the light to the ditch lights. Oh, look at that. You have to take the handrails off to bring it in. Give me a second. So the piping goes in through the floor. It's very clever how they do that. Goes in through the floor, and then it'll come out through the headlights. Through those two little ditch lights. So let me finish up off camera. So then I'll bring in the top of the body. And I'm going to take my time, make sure everything lines up properly. That looks pretty good actually. Also, I have my little baggie of parts. So let's just take a look at what's inside. Probably, I'm not going to need all the parts, so I will reuse the bag for whatever is remaining, and that will go back in the box with all the other stuff. So I'm going to take this out of the bag and we'll have a look at what's in there. Some really nice goodies usually. Let me finish opening it off camera. So let's take a look at what's inside. You've got extra handrails. Not 100% sure what is this. I'll take a look at it a little bit closer up. You've got a little bit longer couplers if you feel you need them. I keep them around, you know, and you never know, maybe you break a coupler. There's pins for your couplers and then number boards. So definitely I want to put the number boards in, and I'll keep the extra ones for another project. So 9581, I put just a little bit of glue to make sure that they never pop out. Looks much better with the number boards. I'm also going to be putting on these extra handrails here. The model that you need is the bottom one. So I'm going to detach them very carefully. So these will just come to the little hole on the top. And then they line up with the hole by the steps. So I'll continue working on this off camera. So that took a little bit of work, but it was well worth it. It really looks good. And these guys are brake hoses. If you're using the snowplow in the front, you won't need them, but the back definitely needs them. So I'm going to take them out of the sprue and put them on. You probably won't see it as it's going down the track, but it's nice to know that it has extra details. And then I'll put my little baggie with the extra parts back in the packaging, so I can find it again when I need it. So all that's left to do is put my shell back on the drive. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.